Here's something that might surprise you and maybe even frustrate you. Many TOEFL candidates with excellent English still score low in the TOEFL listening test. Not because they don't understand English, but because high-scoring candidates use completely different strategies. They don't panic when they miss a word. They don't try to write everything down, and they definitely don't just sit there and listen passively. They use several smart listening techniques to stay focused and find the correct answers fast, while everyone else is still trying to figure out what just happened. Strategy makes all the difference. We've helped thousands of students prepare this way through our TOEFL packages. They discover how strategic preparation can completely change their results. In this video, I'll show you exactly how high-scoring students think, what they do differently during the listening test, and how you can start using the same approach. You'll discover 10 essential tips that separate low-scoring candidates from high-scoring candidates. If you're tired of missing key information or getting stuck at the same score again and again, keep watching. This might finally change the way you see the TOEFL listening test forever. Tip number 1 is to familiarize yourself with the test format before test day. The TOEFL listening test evaluates your ability to understand spoken English in both academic and everyday campus contexts. It takes about 27 minutes and consists of 2 modules with 4 task types. Listen and choose a response. Listen to a conversation. Listen to an announcement. And listen to an academic talk. One thing you absolutely need to know going in is this: once you move to the next question, you cannot go back. There's no second chance to hear the audio again or change a previous answer. That's what makes preparation so important. When you understand the structure and know what to expect in each part, you can prepare strategically. You won't waste time during the test trying to figure out what's happening. Instead, you'll recognize the format immediately and focus entirely on listening for the correct information. This confidence can make a huge difference in your performance, especially under time pressure. The second tip is to know exactly what each task type is asking you to do. In the listen and choose a response task, you hear a short question or statement. Then you have to choose the most appropriate reply from 4 written options. You don't see the question on the screen, so you need to listen carefully. This task tests whether you understand both the literal meaning and the social context of what was said. In the listen to a conversation task, you hear a short exchange between 2 people and then answer multiple choice questions about it. In the listen to an announcement task, you hear someone delivering information, for example, a campus notice. After that, you need to answer questions about the details. And in the listen to an academic talk task, you hear a longer spoken piece on an academic topic and have to answer questions about the main ideas and supporting points. Each task type has different demands. When you know what to expect from each one, you can adjust your listening approach and focus on the right kind of information. Tip number 3 is to always listen for the main idea first, before you start focusing on the details. A lot of candidates make the mistake of trying to understand every single word from the very beginning. This actually makes it harder to follow along. When you get too focused on one specific detail, you can miss the bigger picture. This is a problem because the bigger picture is often exactly what the questions are testing. For the listen to an academic talk task especially, the speaker will usually introduce the main topic right at the start. For example, a professor might open with something like this: today, we're going to explore how ancient trade routes influenced the spread of languages. That one sentence tells you the entire focus of the talk. Once you've locked onto the main idea, all the details that follow are much easier to understand and connect. Train yourself to identify that opening statement and let it guide your listening for the rest of the audio. Tip number 4 is to focus on keywords and paraphrasing. In the TOEFL listening test, the correct answer is often paraphrased. This means that the audio uses different words to express the same idea that appears in the answer options. For example, an answer option might say, "The student decided to change her schedule." The speaker in the recording might say, "I will reorganize my timetable." These phrases mean the same thing, but they use different vocabulary. This is why simply listening for exact words from the answer options won't always work. You need to train yourself to recognize synonyms and paraphrased expressions. When you practice listening, pay attention to how the same idea can be expressed in multiple ways. This skill is crucial for achieving a high score because it shows the examiners that you understand meaning, not just individual words. Now, here is something important. Many TOEFL candidates think that knowing a few listening tips is enough to get a strong result, but it's not enough. To do well in TOEFL listening, you need to understand exactly how the questions work. For example, you need to recognize the main idea, notice important details, and follow the logic of the conversation or lecture without getting lost. That's exactly what we teach in our TOEFL packages. Our students get step-by-step guidance on how to approach the listening test effectively, so they feel confident and ready on test day. They learn how TOEFL listening questions are designed and what skills they need to answer them successfully. Our TOEFL packages include lessons for all tasks, sample answers, mock tests, templates, and much more. If you want expert guidance for your TOEFL preparation, click the link below to learn more. Tip number 5 is to practice note-taking strategically. Effective note-taking requires practice, and it requires strategy. You can't write down everything you hear because the audio moves too quickly. Instead, you need to note key information such as reasons, main ideas, examples, and important details. Use abbreviations and symbols to save time. For example, write prof instead of professor, or use an arrow to show cause and effect. Write only the essential words, not complete sentences. If a speaker mentions 2 reasons why something happened, jot down a few words for each reason. Your notes should serve as memory triggers, not detailed transcripts. With regular practice, note-taking becomes automatic, and you'll start to develop a natural sense of what's worth writing down and what you can let go. That's when your notes really start to work for you. Next, pay attention to the speaker's tone and emphasis. In spoken English, how something is said is often just as important as what is said. Speakers use tone, stress, and intonation to convey meaning, emotion, and attitude. For example, if a speaker emphasizes a particular word, that word is likely important and may contain the answer to a question. If a speaker sounds uncertain or hesitant, their tone gives you clues about how they really feel about something. In the TOEFL listening test, especially in the conversation and academic talk tasks, you often need to identify opinions or implied meanings. The speaker's tone can help you do this. For instance, someone might say, "Well, I suppose that option is worth looking into," in a hesitant, unconvinced tone. They're not saying it's a great idea, they're just not dismissing it either. Learning to pick up on these subtle cues can really improve your ability to answer questions about attitude and opinion correctly. And it shows the TOEFL examiners that your listening comprehension goes beyond just catching individual words. Tip number 7 is to anticipate what comes next. High-scoring candidates don't just passively receive information. Instead, they actively predict what the speaker will say next, based on context and logic. For example, a professor might say, There are three main factors that contributed to this outcome. If you hear that sentence, you should immediately expect the speaker to explain factor 1, then factor 2, then factor 3. Or if someone says, on the one hand, you know that on the other hand is coming very soon. When you anticipate structure and content like this, you're less likely to get confused, and you can focus more effectively on listening for specific details. This kind of active listening is essential for scoring highly. By the way, if you want this channel to keep going, write yes in the comments. Click like and subscribe. We only make videos that you actually want to watch. Now, let's continue with 3 more essential tips for TOEFL listening. Tip number 8 is to not lose concentration. This is more important than it sounds. Here's what typically happens. You mishear something or don't catch a key detail, and instead of moving forward, you stay stuck on that moment. You replay it in your head, trying to figure out what you missed. And while you're doing that, the audio keeps going and you miss the next answer too. If you're not sure about an answer, make your best guess and move on immediately. Don't dwell on it. The recordings play only once and you cannot return to previous questions. Every second you spend thinking about what you missed is a second you're not spending on what's right in front of you. Practice this mindset during your preparation. The goal is to stay present and focused for the entire section. Tip number 9 is to expose yourself to different accents. The TOEFL listening test features speakers from different parts of the world. You might hear accents from North America, the United Kingdom, Australia, or New Zealand. If you've only been practicing with one type of English, you might be caught off guard on test day. The solution is to include a wide variety of listening material in your preparation. Watch English language documentaries, listen to podcasts from different countries, follow university lecture recordings online. Listen to whatever genuinely interests you. The more you expose yourself to different accents, the more comfortable you'll feel, no matter who's speaking on the actual test. Tip number 10 is to eliminate obviously incorrect answers. The TOEFL listening test uses multiple choice questions. You can often rule out 1 or 2 answer options right away because they're clearly wrong or completely unrelated to what you heard. This strategy can improve your chances of choosing the correct answer, even when you're not entirely certain. Once you eliminate the options that are obviously wrong, you're left with fewer choices to decide between. That makes the decision a lot easier and faster. It's also worth remembering that there's no penalty for guessing in TOEFL listening, so never leave a question blank. If you have no idea, pick the best option you have and keep moving. A guess gives you a chance at points. A blank answer gives you none. That's it! Those are 10 essential tips for the TOEFL listening test. If you want expert guidance for your TOEFL preparation, check out our TOEFL packages using the link below. Our packages include step-by-step guidance, practice tests, templates, and other useful resources to help you feel confident on test day. I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you're notified when the next video comes out. Also, share this video with your friends so they can improve their TOEFL score too. See you in the next video.